Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Almighty Blues Cricket. Well, I am hoping all of you are liking the content on this new channel of ours as well. That's Almighty Blues Cricket. For those of you who obviously watched us on the other channel, that is Almighty Blues FC, thanks for watching us here. And for those who have not, do check out Almighty Blues FC as well. A lot of football content there, and a lot of generic content as well. And specifically, obviously Chelsea content, but here you'll get a lot of Indian cricket content. For now, it is obviously RCB because that is where I belong to, Bangalore. That is Royal Challengers Bangalore. A big fan. For those of you watching for the first time, please smash that like button and subscribe because we are coming up with a lot more content in the coming days as IPL kind of gets to the final stages, as well as a lot of Indian cricket content, and of course, like I said, there is international cricket as well coming up. And press that bell notification icon because that will tell you when I'm live, like today, right? So let's get into it. What do you think, guys? Anyways, so here we have basically, I'll just share my screen quickly because I would like to tell you what we are going to talk about today. Obviously, it's going to be the big game, and that is Royal Challengers Bangalore versus, yes, we have beaten RR, but today we are going to play against Punjab, that's Punjab Kings. Before that, let's look into what happened against Rajasthan Royals. That's the most recent game. I know it's been a while, so let me just, give you a quick recap as to what happened. Definitely, we had a great game, again a win, so kudos to RCB for that. But RR started well, right? As in Evan Lewis. Evan Lewis looked really dangerous. He scored a half century of just like I think 30 odd deliveries. But for us, I would say it was Shahbaz Ahmed almost who did kind of a magic trick again. He has it in him. Someone who kind of takes wickets in spells. He took 2 wickets in 1 over, just like I think beginning of this season he took I think three in 1 over. So Shahbaz Ahmed, he's a lucky charm. That's what I would say. That's why we predicted at Almighty Blues Cricket to play him. Yuzi Chahal, of course, like getting back into form. I know he's double motivated after being out of the Indian team for the T20 World Cup. So for me, Yuzi Chahal is the person. Yuzvendra Chahal is really, coming to grips. And again, touch wood, but Harshal Patel, like, what can I talk about him? Like, this guy is just taking wickets, and it's rarely a day that he's not taking wickets. But I really hope it's not today. What about RCB? Well, RR scored 149. It was not a very difficult chase. I think the pitch was also kind of suiting us for the second batting side, but definitely, as in the kudos have to go in terms of batting to KS Bharat and Glenn Maxwell because yes, Virat Kohli and Padikkal gave us a good start, but it was Bharat and Maxwell who really took the game away from RR. And yeah, Mustafizur Rahman bowled well, as in, but Chris Morris, ex RCBian, he got belted royally, as did the young Karthik Tyagi. So I think the 3 stars for that game, for me, there's absolutely no change from the last game. If you remember, yes, against Mumbai, the big win that we had against Mumbai, which almost as an ousted them from the tournament. Not yet, but I hope so. But for I think RR match, it was definitely I think Glenn Maxwell number one, and then probably KS Bharat, and then Harshal Patel. Again, shout out to Yuzvendra Chahal as well as Shahbaz Ahmed. But for me, it was the same, and that's great because this tells that this is some consistency that we are achieving, and that's something that RCB did not have all these years. And we can only hope for the best. Let's continue that way, and of course, purple cap, Harshal Patel. Well, Patel bhai sahab, you're not even letting it go. I'm sure, like you really are the person who's everyone wants because those slower deliveries, great. He just takes wickets. I know a lot of lower order wickets, but it's important in T20 match because I think lower order can kind of win you games. But I think Avesh Khan is near you, so be careful about that from Delhi. And talking about the match itself, for me it was a great win because yeah, RR were not winning matches before that, but I think just yesterday RR beat an informed CSK side, and it was a high scoring game. So you could imagine, like, as in RCB are really coming to form because they are beating strong teams as well. And now let's see what is it that we are aiming for. We are definitely aiming for the top two. I know that Chennai and Delhi have already qualified. Chennai will probably be in top two because they have a better net run rate as well. But I think Delhi, we are yet to play Delhi, and we'll look into the fixtures as well. But that's something that we can still achieve, in my opinion. And if we are able to win all our three matches, you never know, we might be in the top two, and we really need that with our team getting two shots at going to the final. And of course, the fourth position is very interesting because I think there are four teams still equal on points, and that's I don't know, coincidence, but for me KKR has looked better than most because of much better run rate. I don't know, maybe because RCB really got thrashed by KKR in the second leg. That's what I would say. But at the end of the day, Mumbai, you cannot count them out yet, like I said earlier. But SRH is already out. But yes, certainly RCB look in a good position to qualify for sure. But it's all about getting I think those three wins, which will kind of almost seal our position in the top two. I believe so, at Delhi's expense, because we are facing each other. But now let's look at basically where we are playing the games. Yes, we have already played in Dubai. I think we have one more game left in Dubai. But the crucial thing is we are playing today against Punjab at Sharjah. Now, Sharjah, we have already lost one game, yes, to Chennai. It was not a great game. And surprisingly, Sharjah this time is a low scoring venue, in the second leg. So for me, then that'll be very interesting who will win the toss, because, yes, the team batting first has generally won in Sharjah in the second leg. So, I can really hope that, we win the toss and Virat Kohli, calls right for once. But we are yet to play Delhi, like I said. So that qualifier or eliminator, kind of definitely look good on the 10th or 11th. And even more interestingly, today is a day game. Yes, I myself had kind of missed it out, to be very honest. And that's why I'm coming up with a preview just before the game. But yes, that's how it goes. Interestingly, I think it's first day game this second leg of the tournament for Punjab as well. So that's something to look out for. And yeah, day games certainly are interesting, and I think it kind of gives equal weightage to both the teams in a way. So I kind of like that. But again, people in the comment, do tell me, as in, do you prefer RCB kind of playing a night game at Sharjah? I don't know how have been the conditions daytime. So that's something that to look out for, because we haven't played daytime at Sharjah yet. Let me quickly just look into what's happening elsewhere. And one second, sorry about that. Yeah. So again, I know that there are people watching. I hope you have smashed that like button. And well, Amaya says not good to understand anything but tuning in for the vibes. Yes, thanks, Amaya. I appreciate that. Certainly, as in again, yeah, as in we are talking very basic stuff. To be really honest, you're not going in details. It's a basic review of the game between Punjab and Bangalore. But yeah, and then we have basically one shout out for RCB. Yes, RCB will certainly win. I believe so as well. But let me again share my screen, because yes, a lot more to discuss about this preview, and we will look into the teams and other thing. But meanwhile, do comment like what do you think will happen in this game. Will it be RCB or will it be Punjab? Like going by what has happened till now. Yes, Punjab is our bogey side, as you must have seen in our thumbnail. As no secrets there. But let's move into basically the recent form. In terms of recent form, well, I have to say it's identical almost. Yes, RCB in the second leg have lost two games, have won two games, as you can see, and so has Punjab. But again, I don't think it's really identical as well, because Punjab had two very close games. We've not had that really close game yet. Not that I'm calling for it, but as in definitely want a good win. But in terms of yes, the close wins Punjab have had, like first game we mentioned the last stream as well against RR, they should have won the very first game, I believe. As in they probably snatched defeat from the jaws of victory, and Punjab is known for doing so. As in that's something that RCB will take note of, because they definitely get a lot of as in nerves for sure. Like most of their middle order batsmen, in fact. But interestingly, in Sharjah, they have won. Yes, it was a close game against SRH out of all people, but Sharjah, we haven't had a great game, and they've had a better game. So that'll be interesting. But certainly, I think both teams coming off a win in the most recent game kind of is interesting as well. But RCB has had two, so I think RCB will probably be more confident compared to Punjab. Also, Punjab, is in a situation where they have to kind of win all their games, in my opinion, because of their run rate. So, maybe there's nothing to lose there, right? So something's got to give again. But in terms of head to heads, I did tell you that Punjab is our bogey side. Why do I call a bogey side? Because they haven't won, just like us, unfortunately, an IPL yet, but underperforming over the years. Having said that, against RCB, they have performed well. 15 to 12 is the ratio that they have won, and we have kind of really not won a lot of games recently. As you can see, in the last 5 games we have consecutively lost three, and we had won initial 2 games in the last 2 years, that is. And interestingly, among those 3 games, two were actually in UAE. So again, in UAE we haven't won. In fact, in Sharjah we have lost as well 1 game. So not great vibes there for sure, for people watching. But what do you think? Like, hopefully this will be third time lucky, for RCB, as in the recent times at UAE in UAE. So that's something that I'm hoping for, of course, as an RCB fan. But yeah, then Punjab, in a way, like a lot of old boys of RCB are there in Punjab, so they have an extra kind of motivation again. Rahul, of course, their captain, he's performed great against us, and Mayank Agarwal, of course, that opening is the key, right? And we'll come to the teams. Talking about teams, let's look at the RCB team first. Of course, it was a win again against Rajasthan, so I don't see any need to make changes. Again, for people watching previous streams, sorry about that. I got one thing wrong. That was, I called Garton as Gary Garton. It is George Garton. Sorry, I butchered his name, but he is definitely a decent player. I was very surprised. I have to share that when he was played against RR, because Kyle Jamieson. Well, you pay so much for Kyle Jamieson, and he's someone who's also kind of better with the bat. Why don't you play him? I don't know. Like, maybe he's injured. I don't know. People who know, then please comment in the chat. But George Garden did a decent job. Yeah, some variation. I know Virat Kohli likes the left hand, right hand. Doesn't matter much in my opinion. But in T20s matters to some extent. So maybe yes, it works. But Shahbaz Ahmed, as in the magical spell, hopefully that golden arm is something that he's again having against Punjab. But yes, we look settled. I don't see any reason whatsoever to change this. People inform the top four, especially AB de Villiers hasn't come to the party yet, so it's really time. Like, come the business end of the tournament is when I would really want AB de Villiers to come to form, and that is where in the eliminator or the qualifier he'll be key. And he gets some form is what I really want. So I won't be surprised if RCB promotes him to number 4 today. Anyway, do comment like what do you think. But for me, Punjab, they have, I think, a lot of ex-Bangaloreans. Yes, Rahul Agarwal, of course, like we mentioned, but I think Mandeep Singh has played for Bangalore. Of course, Sarfraz Khan, the person we retained, I don't know why, instead of Rahul that year, but again, Jordan or Moses Henriques, one of them might play. I know in the previous game they had Fabian Allen playing, but at number 7, I think Fabian Allen, when he came to bat, was a bit injured. I don't know if people know, do comment, but for me, I think he was a bit injured. And of course, against RCB, you'll probably play an ex-RCBian in Jordan or Henriques, moreover, because Jordan especially is a death bowler, and against RCB has not batted badly either in the past. So maybe, or would you get a Harpreet Brar if you were a selector? I don't know. Harpreet Brar has done great. In fact, like, we look into what he's done with RCB, against RCB rather. But I think Harpreet Brar, the spinner that we always struggle against, especially our our middle order. That's something that to look out for. But yes, Ravi Bishnoi is in form, someone to look out for. So they definitely have people in form. Nicholas Puran is someone that they would want to get in form. I hope not for RCB's sake, right? Just crossing my fingers. Shah Rukh Khan, well, not the actor, of course, but everyone knows by now that he's a hard-hitting batsman and he played well in the last game. I think again they had a great game, and Shah Rukh Khan, was one of them who played well. And we'll come to what games they had. In terms of RCB versus Punjab, well, we have played them already. I think it was the last game before I think IPL stopped in the first leg, and definitely as in a bad one, not to remember. But a recap for people watching. Yes, we didn't talk about Chris Gale. That is why I waited for, because Chris Gale, unfortunately has left IPL, and I don't think personally he's going to play IPL ever. There are reports saying that he's not happy with the way he was treated at Punjab. They treated him just like a squad player. Well, I know he's 42. He's achieved lots. Probably one of the greatest T20 batsmen ever, if not the best, right? Along with AB de Villiers for me. But, and of course, an ex RCB and a great legend at that, he was not kind of in great form either. So I can see where Punjab were trying new things, and they also want to see for the future because there's a big auction next time. But yes, right now probably they should have focused on this season. And Chris Gale is a match winner, so it was surprising. He played well in that first game, and KL Rahul always does well against RCB, and we drop a lot of catches of KL Rahul. I hope we don't do that again. And Harshal Patel, well, the person in form, he had two bad games last season, one of them against Punjab, leg. And of course, he batted well for a change. So that's something that we could probably look out for. And Harpreet Brar, like we said, right? Danger man, if he plays, Ravi Bishnoi, leg spinner, always dangerous against RCB. So yes, a lot of things that we've discussed, but I hope you like the content and the discussion. I don't know if you got anything fresh to hear from me. Certainly, there was injury news covered. There was basically starting 11s covered. So people who are playing the dream 11s of the world, I think there's still time. Make your changes to the teams, and I definitely like a fantasy game, right? For people in the chat, do comment. What do you think? Where will RCB end this time? Like for me, we are good for the third position. I don't see us beating Delhi. They are in a great form as well. So for me, definitely, I'm looking at RCB ending at third. Again, I don't want to jinx it, but I really want us to, qualify for the first two spots because that will take us to the final. And in Virat Kohli's captaincy, we really need that. Like it's been high time that he deserves it. And of course, AB de Villiers, you never know how many more years he might play. So yes, looking for the best. And till then, just take care. Smash that like button, share the link, and I hope RCB wins today. And we'll be back with more content. Press that bell notification icon as well for the next time we are live. We will have more discussion for you all. Yes, take care, and I hope you all have subscribed and you're loving the content. Have a good day.